So welcome to week 5 of... Welcome to week 5 of the Atomic Habits book study.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are Two Crazy Ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and then every Monday we go live on Keto on the Couch. We just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we have the winning lottery numbers, but no sound, you'll be alerted to it.
It's funny, there was a huge delay because that showed up after we were talking for like 2 minutes.
Right.
And that should not have a delay like that.
I am so sorry.
So welcome to week 5. Sorry if I sound a little funny. Just got back from the dentist and I'm still a little numb.
Little bit numb.
Yeah.
I like your teethers though.
I can't really smile to show them though.
Yeah, he's still
I'm not going to do that part.
Got the numbness going
still
on.
numb. So you are all set up, but I wanted to let everybody know. When I come back, once Rachel's done with week 5, we're going to pick the winner for the June edition of the My Chow box. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, go on over and leave a comment on that video. You have to live in the United States. And then when Rachel's all wrapped up, we will pick the winner for that.
Yeah, my mom was calling me and the buzz alerts me to like, oh, there's something wrong, and then we get aware. So thank you, Mommy.
There you go.
Okay, so welcome back to the Atomic Habits book study. The original plan was to finish this entire book during the month of May, but the book has blessed me a lot, and there's just so much rich information for us to cover. So we're not gonna rush things. We're gonna just take our time and cover the 4th law of behavior change today. Let's see if it's working. Yes, I love it. I love it when a plan works, okay? So as we're getting started, please share the comment in the comments in the chat if this book has helped you to do some things differently, because I would love to know if this book is blessing you like it has blessed me. So let's go ahead and get started. So the 4th law of behavior change is make it satisfying. And this section begins with an amazing story of service. Public health worker Stephen Luby had uprooted his entire life to serve people in a highly populated city in Pakistan. And unsanitary living conditions had led to widespread illness and disease. But when his team tried to convey the importance of hand washing, they discovered that knowledge was not the problem. The people already knew that they needed to wash their hands. They already knew that it would have a positive impact on their lives. But even with that knowledge, they still weren't washing their hands properly. They were either doing it haphazardly or not at all. The problem was not a lack of knowledge. The problem was consistency. And this really spoke to me in terms of our keto lifestyle. Keto isn't a challenging diet or way of eating to understand. Eat meat. Don't eat sugar. Don't eat bread. Don't eat pasta. Don't eat traditional rice. Keep your total carbs under 30 or 40. Lack of knowledge is not the problem when it comes to keto, usually, what I find. For most people, the problem is consistency. And fitness is the same exact way. How do I incorporate fitness into my life? Easy. Move your body. Right? Obviously, I can study different types of fitness and I can study different pieces of fitness equipment, but the overall concept of fitness is very, very simple. Move. I get it. That's not the problem. It's the actually doing it that seems to be the challenge. So facing a similar consistency hurdle in Pakistan, Stephen paired up with Procter & Gamble to create a positive hand washing experience. They circulated some good smelling soap that lathered up really nicely, and it solved the consistency problem. The soap provided a strong positive sensory signal so people actually use the soap and wash their hands. And within months, the result of this was a rapid shift in the population's health. This is not surprising, right? The rate of diarrhea fell 52%, pneumonia by 48%, and bacterial skin infections by 35%. Wow, those are wonderful results. But I bet the people in this city in Pakistan weren't surprised that they'd have good results if they wash their hands properly. If you had asked me 100 pounds ago, what would be the key to my success in losing weight, I could have told you then that if I ate correctly and I moved more, I would have success, because I'm not dumb. It's not a knowledge problem. I just wasn't actually consistently eating right or moving more. So let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Let me get back to here. Oh yeah, I got this. Let's see what you guys are saying. If I can scroll up. Am I doing something wrong? I've got it on it. Looks like I can click on here. Oh, there you go. Jen says, my new habit is not only socks and shoes, but also putting on a bra. I work from home and fully dressing for work makes me feel more put together and professional. I completely echo that same thing, Jen. I find that if I get up, and you are so right, girl, put a bra on. That's how specific I need to get. Put a bra on and the day has begun, right? Because when the bra comes off, the day is over, right? Like that's exactly how I feel as well. That's great. That's an easy way to have success. Suzanne says, my habit has been to track my food to get a correct picture of my food intake. That is awesome, because sometimes if I eyeball it, then I can have a lot of things fit into my plate that doesn't fit into my plan, if that makes sense. That's so good. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Angie says, I moved my glucose machine into my bathroom. Make it obvious. I don't have to think about it. It's in my face. That is so great. Yes, I am overhauling this entire house. Let me tell you, we're discovering, just like you can see in our vlogs, we're starting to use other flavors of keto chow, not because we didn't already own it, not because we didn't already enjoy it, but because we're putting it in our eye line, and that is making the difference of us having easy accessibility to it. So I love that. Becca says, my new habit is getting up when I wake up and not to turn on the computer until I have done one stalled task. That is fantastic. Yes, the habit stacking has been awesome for me in order to get fitness in. Habit stacking, doing something I want to do paired with something I'm already doing, no questions asked, has really, really helped me. Let me see. We got room for one more before we move on. Oh, Sarah says, it absolutely 100% has helped me stay on task. This is great to have this during the challenge. Yes, we're trying to make sure that we have a simple 2-minute or less habit that we want to establish in our life, and we're trying to do it every single day. And this book has been a really powerful reminder for me as well to just keep going. So let's see, we're gonna move to this one. All right, so Stephen and his team figured out we are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying. Feelings of pleasure, even minor ones like washing your hands with soap that smells nice and lathers well, are signals that tell the brain, this feels good, do this again next time. Maybe you're like me and you grew up in the age of no pain, no gain. Let me know if you grew up with that. It was like a gym thing that they said no pain, no gain all the time. Or if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't work. Well, I believed that rhetoric, and it caused me to have to be in the mood to exercise, if that makes sense. I needed to get myself emotionally prepared to eat right, because I was told the experience was going to be frustrating and miserable. We can see here why that approach does not work long term. We need to find behaviors satisfying. What makes keto so satisfying to you? That's what you need to kind of zero in on. I love the smell of bacon permeating throughout my house. I enjoy that smell. That is a good smell. Joe jokes about that smell, that if that smell is going on, there's no way that you can stay in the bed. It wakes you up. I love the smell of bacon. That's something I enjoy. It's satisfying. I love the sound of burgers when they're sizzling on the grill while I am floating in the pool. That's a very summery, delightful sensory thing for me. What makes movement satisfying to you? It's not the smell of the gym to me. That does not motivate me to move. What motivates me, a sensory thing that I enjoy, is seeing flowers and watching wildlife that I see on my walks. So let me see what you guys are saying. Gotta push that. All right, let me get back into the chat and see, what are you saying? Because I would love to know, what are some sensory things that help you to stay on track? Lillian says, keto is satisfying to me because I can eat such large quantities at a meal. You know what? That is an awesome thing. That resonates for me as well. Part of the reason why I hated diets, I hated like eating healthy or whatever I thought that terminology meant, I had to get in the mood to eat Nutrisystem, if that makes sense. Has anybody done Nutrisystem before? Small meals, they're very visually unappealing. They taste very like yucky. There's like a tingy taste to it. And that is what I would associate with eating right. I mean, even if I was trying to do some sort of a portion control protocol, it was a miserable one because I expected that the food needed to be ugly, it needed to smell not right, and it needed to taste weird. And that's what I thought would work. And there's no wonder why I wasn't willing to keep doing it. Kelly says, hey Kelly, I love keto. I can eat things other than dry lettuce and feel good. Absolutely. There's only so much cabbage soup that I can convince myself to eat. I can remember when I was on Weight Watchers at one point, and their like 0-point system allowed me to have as much cabbage soup as I wanted. And so I'm like, okay, that'll be some kind of reward for myself, that I can eat a large quantity of it. But it quickly like lost its flair for me. Why? Because cabbage soup is not visually and it like stimulating. It doesn't smell awesome. You don't get excited about it. So it was like washing my hands with soap that didn't smell good. I didn't want to use it. Paul says, been reaching out to my friend to take walks in the local park, reveling in his enthusiasm for the park and taking advantage of that to get me moving. That is so awesome. Absolutely. Yesterday, I was having kind of a tough day, and I looked out my door because I was letting, we were going to just let Tabitha use the restroom really quickly. And I saw my mom walking in the direction of the park. And I thought, oh my goodness, if I hurry and hustle and get, some steps in, I'll be able to spend some more time with my mama. And that was very motivating for me to get my walk in. And it not only motivated me to get my steps in for the day, but it actually turned my morning around attitude-wise, because I knew I was going to get to see somebody that I loved and that was an encouragement to me. And so that's a powerful motivator. Becca says, the most satisfying thing for me about eating a ketogenic diet is watching my health markers improve. Absolutely. That's a huge incentive to keep going. Oh, Kelly says, cabbage soup made you very unpopular with the farts. You are so right. I mean, it was disgusting, right? Like no one wanted to hang out with you. And you would say to them, like, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to stick to this diet. That's like, it was like you'd have to apologize coming into a room. Okay, so we need a behavior to be satisfying. That's a reward to us. And James emphasizes the human brain evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed rewards. And we see that the cardinal rule of behavior change is what is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. So we live in a delayed return environment, but we desire instant gratification. I want McDonald's results. I want to drive through life and order me some 6-pack abs. That's what I want. But if that doesn't work, well, I'll just take a double cheeseburger with fries because I can have that right now. Years ago, I used to hear our children use the term YOLO. Do you guys remember when YOLO came out? YOLO, they used it in conjunction with every bad decision that they came up with. YOLO, you only live once. It sounded quasi-inspirational. Don't worry about the future. You need to make the most of the present moment. The problem was that it became this overarching rationale for impulsive and even reckless behavior. With our bad habits, the immediate outcome usually feels good, but the ultimate outcome feels bad. With good habits, it's the reverse, isn't it? The immediate outcome is unenjoyable, but the ultimate outcome feels really good. So how do I use the power of instant gratification for my good, right? Because this is the way that I'm made up. How am I going to leverage this about me? Well, we find out to get a habit to stick, you need to feel immediately successful, even if it's in a small way. The first 3 laws of behavior change, make it obvious, make it attractive, and make it easy, increase the odds that a behavior will be performed this time, right? Like with this time. But here's the important detail. The 4th law of behavior change increases the odds that the behavior will be repeated the next time. And that's what we want. We want both things. We want us to get started. That's great. But we also want to repeat it over and over again, right? So immediate rewards keep you excited while the delayed rewards accumulate in the background. I love this thought. One of the most satisfying feelings is the feeling of making progress. I loved the idea of labeling your savings account after a purchase you want to make. So instead of just calling it savings account, you're gonna call it like trip to the water park this weekend. You get to instantly put money into the account every time that you pass on something you want to avoid anyway. So if the water park ticket costs $50, and that's how much it costs to go to Rapids Water Park here in West Palm, then you put $5 into the account every time you pass a Starbucks and you don't buy your past usual sugary drink. You buy gas and you don't purchase a donut, boom, go ahead and move $3 over. When you zip up your lunch bag for work knowing that you're not going to buy lunch and risk temptation, immediately move $5 over into your water park budget. 5 days of work, 2 trips to the gas station, and you have $56 for your water park ticket, no problem. You created a loyalty program for yourself, and you are the exact person that you want to be loyal to, right? I don't want to betray myself in my plans. I don't want to be like the mayhem guy in my own Allstate commercial, right? But I want to give my brain an incentive so that it works with me. I want my brain to work with me. So let me know in the chat, what is a short-term reward that you are planning to implement, which actually aligns with your long-term vision of being a healthy person? Because I have seen places like gyms misalign short-term rewards. They have things like donut day and pizza day. Did you work out today? Good job. Here's a donut. it works as a short-term reward. That's why these gyms use it. But it doesn't align with my long-term vision for myself. A short-term reward that I'm gonna start giving myself is a 10-minute soak in our pool after I exercise. So usually I am all about rushing to the next thing. The daily schedule is very tight around here. And if I take time to exercise, I am making my workday longer. In my mind, that's what I think. That's how I've always viewed it. My rest is going to be further delayed if I go ahead and take this time to exercise. But now if I exercise and I'm already sweaty, I don't have to wait for some relaxation. I get permission to start my day floating around in a pool for 10 minutes. Let me check in with the chat and see if you guys have some other ideas for some short-term rewards. Gotta go up this way. It's supposed to go up. There it goes. All right. Angie says, still trying to figure out what a good reward would be to work out. And I'm so glad that you're here, Angie, because maybe while we're doing this book study together, some idea that somebody else shares will resonate with you as well. Oh, Dennis says a goal is going to be find a sauna and use it. I like that idea. That definitely sounds like a reward. Let's see. Yeah, Jen says, wait, what? This is making that Tootsie Roll bucket at Planet Fitness make sense. Absolutely true. It's so funny that my son, Caleb, our youngest son, is going to school studying psychology with the desire in the future to become a doctor and to be a psychologist. And I said to him, gosh, psychology is such a wide-ranging thing. What are you interested in doing? And he goes, well, I know what I'm not interested in doing. I am not interested in working in a corporate setting for trying to get people to like manipulate people into doing things. And yeah, that Tootsie Roll bucket is not a haphazard thing. You know, they spend a lot of money, I mean, on marketing and people thinking about like, how can we leverage human behavior to bring about the results that we want? And the Tootsie Roll bucket, the donut, the pizza day, all of those things, you know, it rewards us and we feel like, wow, we feel special as a customer, but it doesn't help us long term. It just makes us lifelong customers, right? That's what we get. Oh, Kelly's got some good recommendations. New pens, a coloring book. Yes, sometimes a purchase that is lavish, like I don't need some new colored pretty pens or pens that have a really nice feel, a grip to them. I don't need that. I could get by with regular old like Dollar Tree Bic pens, but sometimes that's a really big reward for me. If you know me, I'm a huge fan of school supplies. So something like that can really be a reward for me. Maybe not for everybody, but definitely a reward for me. So let's see where we're at. All right, so moving on, we see a habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit, like marking an X on a calendar. Those sorts of things are really rewarding to me. And we see habit trackers and other visual forms of measurement can make your habits satisfying by providing clear evidence of your progress. Now, we have some printable habit trackers on our website, twocrazyketos.com. That's free and that is easy, but I really enjoyed the examples that James shared to make habit tracking super visual, and I brought some in today. Oh, we've got where we've marked it for Guy, but he suggested using 2 mason jars in something like marbles or pretty stones or shells or something like that. So give yourself 2 glasses or mason jars and fill them with something pretty like pretty stones, paper clips, coins, or marbles. And every time that you repeat a behavior, move it from one glass to the other. So I've got, this is my starting glass and I'm moving it over into that glass. I even like the sound of that. Isn't that like a fun sound? I love that sound. So let me know in the chat, what would be a nice visual habit tracker for you. The cool thing is that nobody needs to know what this glass means but you. What your habit tracker, that's a visual habit tracker, it's nobody's beeswax. What you're doing with that, it just looks pretty. If I have glasses of shells or stones on my desk, they just look decorative. Nobody needs to know that I am trying to be more accountable to myself for my time, or that I'm trying to work out a bad habit. Nobody needs to know. And we're not alone in doing this. Very successful people like Ben Franklin and Jerry Seinfeld have tracked their habits. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a display of strength and intentionality. Just do what Seinfeld does, and that is don't break the chain. Try to keep your habit streak alive. I think the key to this, at least for me, is going to be how easy and attractive that I make my habit tracker. James suggests habit stacking to get yourself started. Make the 2 glass jars with pretty rocks maybe part of your kitchen table centerpiece. That was kind of my idea for it. As soon as you successfully eat a keto meal, like maybe you're having some trouble staying keto. Well, if your table centerpiece is incorporating this habit tracker, then every time you have a keto meal, move a rock from one jar to the other. You know that you're going to eat every single day. That's how you're going to habit stack. So you stack a new habit with an existing one. That is easy. And when you eat keto food instead of your garbage, the former garbage, you get an immediate reward for doing the right thing. Every time I drive past a drive-through and I don't buy fast food, I can move quarters. I have 2 cup holders in my car, and I can move quarters from one cup holder to the other cup holder. And any quarters that are in my reward cup holder can be used to buy something that I would like for myself. Maybe some new earrings, or maybe a shirt that I would like. Maybe I know I have coffee at home, but maybe I want to stop at Wawa and get a cup of coffee there and treat myself. I move the quarters over, and that's my reward for not buying, a food treat. Of course, we know that life brings interruptions. Joe says all the time that we aim for 100%, but we know that we're never going to be perfect, and that's okay. Here's where accountability is going to come in. Never miss twice. If you miss one day, try to get back on track as quickly as possible. Now, I used to think, man, I hope I'm not alone in this. I'm sharing something very vulnerable for myself here. I used to think I was someone who believed, hey, if I can't do something perfectly, I can't do that thing at all. And that's the excuse, because that's what it is, that I have given myself for not doing something like a 75 hard challenge. If you guys have been watching our channel for a while, you remember me saying this exact thing when Autumn from Watch Autumn Keto was doing the 75 hard challenge so amazingly. I was like, oh, I'd like to be able to do that like Autumn. The problem is I'm such a perfectionist that if I, say I'm going to do it and then I drop the ball on day 32, I'm going to feel like a failure. I said that. But here's the thing. I don't really believe that in every area of my life. Here's an example. I am not a perfect wife. Don't tell Joe. I am not a perfect wife, right? But when I make a mistake as a wife, I don't say, oh, well, you've got a hall pass, Joe. If I can't do this wife thing perfectly, you're free to be out of this commitment. Do I say that? Heck no. I don't say that. He's not getting out of that this easy, right? Sorry, Joe, you're stuck with me and my imperfection. I've made a lot of mistakes as a mother, but I don't turn in my world's best mom shirt every time I screw up, like it or lump it. I'm the mama bear in this house, right? I just use the perfectionist excuse when I don't want to do something, right? So let's keep it real. When, not if, you make a mistake, because you're gonna, I do, you do, we do. It's okay. Make it a toddler mistake. That's something I'm gonna share here. Make it a toddler mistake. Ever see 2 toddlers fighting over a toy? one kid usually ends up snatching the toy out of the other kid's hand. That's not okay, right? That's not all right. That's a mistake. What do you do when that happens? If you're watching those two toddlers, do you ground them for life? Of course not. No, you reinforce the importance of sharing. You have the child apologize to the other child and you move on. And that's precisely how much time and energy that I want you and me to budget for mistakes. Don't turn a mistake meal into a missed month. That's really the goal. And before we move on here, here's some free advice. Don't share what you're doing with everyone. I can get really excited about a monthly challenge or the opportunity to do some habit tracking. And when I share it with some people, they only want to talk about why it won't work for them. Right? It doesn't matter if the challenge is related to food or movement or sleep or reading, etc. And it can be months away from starting. I can be like, I'm not going to have sweeteners in the month of October. And their immediate response is like, well, I'm going to need sweeteners for an event on the 4th of October. And my niece's birthday is on the 12th of October. And then there's no promises on the 21st of October because I know my staff party is going to be on October 21st. That's their excuses, not mine. But it really takes the air out of my sails. So if you want to enjoy the benefits of habit tracking, my advice is be selective with who you talk about it with. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, I like that. Synergy says, I like that. Never miss twice goal. Yeah, that is, if you don't miss 2 times in the row, that can be very powerful about moving you forward. Never miss twice. I forgot that I read that part. Thanks for the reminder. Absolutely. Wow, Angie says, never miss twice is the best advice for a keto cheat day. Absolutely. Like, I think that it's very powerful if you say like, hey, I went wrong in a meal, but my very next meal is going to be keto. So if breakfast was a problem, by lunch, we're back, right? By lunch, we're back on the wagon again. Cindy says, I have created a color-coded June calendar, taking at least 1 walk each day and spending some time reading each day, tracking steps, miles, times, etc. daily to hold myself accountable. I love that. That is so awesome. Joanna says, I stopped talking to my sister about keto because she always is so negative and it is disheartening. Joanna, I think that is brilliant. Sometimes we feel bad that we don't talk, to the people that we love about, what we're doing in health goals. But you know what? If we think about it, there's a lot of compartmentalizing that we do when it comes to conversations, right? When I am at work, I don't necessarily share all of my home stuff with my coworkers, right? Because I kind of keep work stuff work and I keep home stuff home. And it's the same. I mean, I don't talk about keto all of the time when I'm working at the church because, people know that I'm keto. They can ask me any questions. They know that I'm accessible, but I certainly don't talk about keto the way I talk about keto when, on our channel, right? So Kelly says, not sharing keeps the negative voices from gaining momentum. And here's the thing. It doesn't mean you're not going to talk to your sister about other things. It doesn't mean that you're like cutting a person out of your life because you can't share your keto journey with them. It just means that you're going to go into a conversation and you're going to think about like, okay, what are some other things that we can talk about? Maybe we can talk about family stuff, or maybe we have a shared interest in gardening, or, we both are roller coaster enthusiasts. Let's plan our next trip to a theme park together. Like, there's lots of other things that we can, share. Let's see. Janice says, I can do the jar and stone thing. I have some pretty stones that I bought for a craft. Me too, Janice. Like, this is something I have bought, these different colored stones for all kinds of different holidays. Like I have red, white, and blue ones for 4th of July. And I have some that are like pastel colors like this for months when I'm trying to decorate with like an ocean theme, or maybe it's Easter time or something and I'm looking for pastel colors. So yeah, I think the stones are really fun. And I think it's something that you could change out monthly based on holidays. So if you're like, gosh, I want just a little decoration in my home, I feel like that's a very inexpensive way to get them in. A bag of stones like these, a lot of times I can get them from a craft store like Joann Fabrics or Hobby Lobby, and a lot of times they'll be on sale, like 50% off. So a bag of stones may be like $4, and when they have a half off sale, $2 to keep me on track. I think that that's a really good investment. So let's go ahead and move and see what's next. Okay, because I'm really excited about this next thought, because I believe it is a root problem for a lot of us. And that is, just because you measure something doesn't mean it's the most important thing. Our brain, which wants to win, we want to win whatever game that we're playing, will optimize for what we decide to measure. If our success is measured by a lower number on the scale, we will optimize for a lower number on the scale, even that if that means embracing crash diets, juice cleanses, diet pills, or starving ourselves. If that's what it means, we will do those things. And I mean, it sounds horrible, but like, that's what we will do. Remember, we live in a delayed return environment, but we desire instant gratification. So we can understand the benefit of giving our metabolism time to heal. And we can want that for ourselves in a big picture way. I think about the people who were like, I need to wash my hands in Pakistan, right? They understood in a big picture way that this will be beneficial to my life. That's a long-term goal, healing our metabolism. And we believe it to be valuable. The problem is, if I am measuring success using a scale, my desire for instant gratification is going to torpedo my long-term goal to heal my metabolism every time. Why? Because I may want to wait for future healing, but I need to move the needle on that scale right now, today. It will not wait, right? I win today if the scale needle moves. If I can even move it half a pound, I win. So I'll get back to healing my metabolism after I quickly just move this scale needle a minute. Does this sound familiar? Because it really resonated for me. So just for a couple days, I'm gonna take some carb blockers, or I'm gonna OMAD for a week, or I'm gonna jumpstart this needle with a 72-hour fast. So we punish our bodies again this week, and we deal our metabolism another blow. And maybe we move the scale a couple of ounces or a pound, but we don't even enjoy the victory, because we know in the back part of our minds that we've used this strategy before for a quick win, and that's why we are gaining and we are losing the same couple of pounds week after week. So how do we break this horrible cycle? Change how you measure success. It's time to change how we measure success. Measurement is only useful when it guides you and adds context to a larger picture, not when it consumes you. Each number is simply one piece of feedback in the overall system. And I don't know about you, but I felt very empowered by Goodhart's law. Now, why? Because if there is a law that has been formulated around this way of thinking, it means that I am not the only person who has fixated on the wrong unit of measurement. I'm not alone and I'm not crazy. I just need to understand Goodhart's law, which states when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. It's time to focus on a different form of measurement, one that gives me more signals of progress. So let me know in the chat, what's an alternative measurement of success? Should I focus on fitting in my clothes? Can I measure success with the ability to move more each day? So if I start out and I can only walk from the couch to the mailbox and back, then could I measure every day from like, okay, the next day I move to from the couch to the mailbox and one more step and go back, and just keep doing that and trying to push that movement? Could I track the way that I feel? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. What would be a better alternative way of measuring success? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead while you guys are populating the chat. We're gonna move on into the last part of this section that we're covering today, and we see that it is the inversion of the fourth law of behavior change, which is make it unsatisfying. We are less likely to repeat a bad habit if it is painful or unsatisfying. When asked how he's able to stay keto in the midst of temptation, Steve from Keto Chow shared something that Joe quotes all of the time. Pain is a powerful motivator. It certainly is. We didn't want to stop eating those Winn-Dixie wings that we used to grab on Sunday afternoons. They were cheap and they were convenient. They seemed perfect. But almost immediately after eating them, and for a day or two after we ate them, we felt pain all over our bodies and all through our joints. Of course, you have to decide how much pain that you're willing to tolerate. I'm allergic to tomatoes, for instance. I break out in very painful sores all over my tongue whenever I eat them, but it usually takes until the next day for them to surface. Do I still sometimes eat tomatoes? Yes. Why do I do that? That is a dumb thing to do. Well, honestly, because it doesn't hurt badly enough and because it doesn't hurt immediately. James says if a failure is painful, it gets fixed. If a failure is relatively painful, it gets ignored. And the more immediate the pain, the less likely the behavior. If you want to prevent bad habits and eliminate unhealthy behaviors, then adding an instant cost to the action is a great way to reduce their odds. There can't be a gap between the action and the consequences. So what is a reasonable way that we can make certain bad behaviors unsatisfying? So let me check in with the chat and see what you guys are saying. Tanya says a measure of success for me was seeing that my meal prep or produce that I started the week with was at least 85% gone. I feel accomplished. I stuck with the plan. That is fantastic. That is a really great way to stay keto and also have immediate satisfaction, right? Because you populate that fridge and that fridge becomes full with all of your meal prep containers for the week, right? And you can reuse them. You can get ones that are reusable. It's not like you need to be wasteful in order to enjoy this. But yes, every single time you reach for a meal, you're like, oop, I'm cleaning out my refrigerator. Like, boop, boop, boop. It's like I mean, that is such a powerful thing to do. I love that. Deb says, my June goal is to continuously jump rope for a solid minute. Success is in the everyday progression toward that time goal. Each single jump that is more than yesterday is a major success. You are absolutely right. And there you go. That is 1 minute of jump roping. It's not like saying, hey, for the month of June, I'm going to exercise for 2 hours every day. That's 1 minute. And that is how you make an extended exercise plan, right? Because you continue to set goals for yourself and you have success, and it's very, very satisfying. Cindy says, clothes getting bigger, walking with no pain after 2 knee replacements, getting off meds, all of a measure of success for me. I love that. Becca says, if I linger in bed in the morning playing on my table, I feel off for the entire day and generally don't get anything done. So yeah, it's like making a motivation for yourself. You know, there's the problem. It's like we go to bed and we think, I didn't get anything done today. I never get anything done. And that's like such a huge monumental thing. It's pinpointing, where does that not getting anything done today begin? Where does it start? What's my first wrong move? And like you said, if I play on my tablet, that's where my problem is. If I don't immediately get out of bed and I stay here and play on my tablet, that's where I lose the day. For me, I know the moment that Pinterest app gets opened, there goes an hour. If I want to lose an hour, that's how I do it. Guaranteed every single time. So I had to do like James did, which is for Pinterest, I had to actually take the entire app out of the apps that I see. If I want to play on Pinterest, I need to actually reload it again, sign in, make it really challenging for me to get back to it. Blue Dove says, I like to watch 2KK, but it would probably be bad to hoard my views until I finish everything. You know what? If that's something that you have to do, I've heard people say, I am allowed to watch 2KK or any of the videos that you enjoy if I do it while I'm on my stationary bike or I listen to it while I'm on a walk. So yeah, whatever it takes to habit stack, but that's so sweet. Thank you, Blue Dove. I appreciate you so much. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back a little further. I want to make sure that I'm getting everybody. Thanks for the reminder about the number on the scale. I remember when I used to go to Weight Watchers, I would make sure to take off all my jewelry before getting on the scale. And for me, this is how I was. For the day before, I would go for a Weight Watchers weigh-in. I fasted. Sometimes I would take a diuretic. I would be drinking a bunch of coffee because I thought that was going to make me pee more. And I would like magically have this great scale number in the moment. But was that real success? No, absolutely not. So it was like Tuesday, it was like if I weighed in on Monday, then I just ruined my weekend. I had actually moved my weigh-in day. Like, I want to have my weigh-in day on like Thursday so that I knew my weekends were free to have chaos in them and I would still have enough time to starve myself in order for me to get into the weigh-in and have it like 1 pound of success or maybe just no gain. That was literally the strategy that I was playing with myself. And of course, I was the loser every time when I played that game. Let's see. Dun, da, da, da. Let's see, I just want to make sure. Oh, Paul says, it was good when the book said the first mistake doesn't ruin you. It's a spiral of repeats that does that. A reminder not to let errors build. You're absolutely right. We are not supposed to think that there's a possibility that we're never going to make a mistake in life. I just fumbled my words right there. There was a mistake. Should we like quit? No, absolutely not. We have to prepare that we will make mistakes in life. We just don't want to roll them into more and more mistakes and let that snowball. And we do that by not letting it become day 2 and day 3. All right, so let me see. Here we go. Okay, so, one way that we can give ourselves some accountability is with an accountability partner. An accountability partner can create an immediate cost to an action. I actually think that that's really awesome. And why is that? Because we care deeply about what others think of us, and we do not want others to have a lesser opinion of us. I think that that's very true. Now, we have encouraged people to find an accountability partner in the past, but I want to clarify something. You need to clearly define what you want from an accountability partner before you go searching for them. You may want what I like to call a photo dump accountability partner. A photo dump accountability partner is someone you can send your meal pictures to, or you can send photos of your step count to, or your workout activity to. You can send photo proof to them that you did what you said that you were going to do, and they may or may not give you a thumbs up or an attaboy or good job message back. The photo dump accountability partner can be somebody that you know, but they could also be a relative stranger. The responsibility of sending each photo is on you, and they may or may not challenge you if you don't send them a picture. This level of accountability isn't going to cost you very much. And even if they do try to challenge you on your commitment, it's very easy for you to just, you're already photo dumping, now you're just gonna dump them, right? It's very easy for you to pull away from that relationship and just stop sending them photos altogether, particularly if it's not somebody that you're, already friends with or related to. If you found somebody maybe through the Facebook family group and you're like, I don't know them, but I want you to be an accountability partner. And if you send them a photo and they're like, hey, didn't you say you weren't going to have cheese this month? Isn't that cheese on your plate? You may be like, I'm out, like too much accountability, right? If you have an accountability partner like this, but it doesn't seem to be making a difference in your life, you probably need some accountability that's going to cost you more, because I don't want you to be like, I have an accountability partner, but it's not working. You just may need more out of an accountability partner relationship. And that's when a habit contract may be useful. So a habit contract can be used to add a social cost to any behavior. It makes the cost of violating your promises public and painful. And this is where something like coaching may come into play. There are a lot of keto coaches out there and life coaches in general, right? Joe and I now provide keto coaching, and some people may think, why in the world do I need to pay for Joe and Rachel to coach me? They have tons of free videos about keto and I can just watch them. You absolutely can. But sometimes you're more likely to stick to something if it costs you. You value it more. Now, you don't have to retain a keto coach. In the past, Joe and I have actually personally written out a habit contract for us that both of us have signed just between the two of us. Basically, we wrote out some specific goals that we had for ourselves and how we wanted to be rewarded when we achieved each goal. The only problem with our contract was it was all reward based. There was no consequence for not completing a goal. You just wouldn't get the next reward until you achieved it. It worked well for us because we're naturally competitive with one another. So I didn't want him to reach his goal before I reached my goal. But I think that adding a straightforward consequence could be very effective. I have a friend, Melissa, who is a diehard Steelers fan, for instance. And if she was in a habit contract and had to wear another football team's jersey when she didn't do what she was supposed to do, that would be a very effective consequence for my friend Melissa, to say the least. She would actually swim the English Channel back and forth in one day if it meant that she could avoid wearing, say, a Dolphins jersey. She would absolutely do that. So let me know in the chat what would be an effective consequence for you in a habit contract. All right, so knowing that someone else is watching you can be a powerful motivator. How funny was Thomas Frank's idea for automating the someone else is watching me motivation? If he doesn't wake up at 5:55 every morning, a scheduled tweet goes up that says, it's 6:10 and I'm not up because I'm lazy. Reply to this for a $5 PayPal payment, limit 5. Wow. Now, Joe teases me about pushing the snooze button. I love to push the snooze button, but I am not willing to pay $25 to push the snooze button. And you don't even have to put it on social media. I would challenge you to make a habit contract with your children. If I say, hey, Anthony, if I don't send you a picture of my bed made by 8 a.m. every morning, I'm gonna give you $20. You don't have to worry that you're gonna have any problem with an accountability partner. My kids are gonna shake me down for the money. Maybe you have kids or nieces or nephews that you could get into a habit tracker situation like that. I'm sure that my nephew Jonathan, my nephew Elijah would happily take $20 from Aunt Rachel if for some reason she doesn't, if she fails to complete everything on an agreed habit tracking. So we're gonna close out with the chat, but before we do, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Next Wednesday, June 15, we're going to finish up Atomic Habits by discussing the last section, which is advanced tactics. Why wouldn't we go ahead and review the advanced tactics, how to go from being merely good to truly great? Because I've really enjoyed this book study, and I mean, we're keto, so we want to suck the marrow out of this experience. We really want to get everything that there is left to get, because I think there's been the potential for a lot of very rich wins in this book, and we want to just keep going with that. But let me check in with the chat and see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Tanya says, I fell in love with my morning boot camp because the women in my group would check in on me if I didn't show up. We had a morning group chat that said, wake up, ladies, it's time to go, or just great job today. You know, exactly. That probably doesn't take very long to send that message out, but it gets the job done. It is an incentive. I know that there's a reason why I'm getting up. I'm going to get to see people. I'm not the only person going to this thing. I know that I have to answer to somebody. They're going to ask me what happened. Tell me, what was your good excuse for not being here? So that is very, very powerful. Paul says, thanks for this, Rachel. So appreciative of your commitment and hard work and guiding us through this. Boy, I really, really enjoyed this, Paul. Thank you guys so much for actually reading it and participating and adding so much richness to the discussion. Because you guys, you know, I mean, Joe and I started this channel. We're just regular people living a keto life. And you're regular people living a keto life. We're all ordinary, extraordinary. I'm so extraordinary. I am the most ordinary person that you're going to meet. So we can be a blessing to one another. And I don't have all of the answers. And even reading this book, you guys have shared so much just brilliant shares and giving me such great ideas for what I'm going to take home and use in my personal life. And I know that you've been a blessing to so many. So definitely, and next week, continue to bring with you some hacks for life that you've come up with using the book as a guideline, right? Because there's just so much. All right, let's see. I see Cindy. Let's see. Cindy says, my sister got me started on keto in September 2020. We hold each other accountable along with her daughter and one of our other nieces. The cost for us is not wanting to let each other down. Absolutely. You have to have somebody in your life that you don't want to let that person down, right? That's going to be, you know, make you be accountable. I'm going to tell you right now, I have 3 children, and if I want an accountability partner, I am going to choose Anthony. Anthony is tough. He is black and white. There is no gray. It is just you did it or you didn't do it. It's pass or fail. Caleb wants you to win so much that sometimes I think that he will give you an out. He may debate that or dispute that, you know, like, hey, mom, if it's important, I'll totally keep you accountable. But I know that Anthony is going to get to the heart of the matter. And if you've tacked on like a financial thing, then he's absolutely going to hold you accountable. Oh, awesome. Betsy says, I can testify that Becca is doing great. I look forward to her texts of accomplishments every morning. I love that so much. I love that you keep one another accountable. Kelly says, habit stacking has also helped me see bad behaviors and how they are linked to one bad choice. Yeah, again, I used to really dismiss a day as like, you know, it was a bad day. It was really like it was a good day or it was a bad day. But really, the beginning of a bad day, it was really just, I came to a fork in a road and I took a path that led me toward not propelling my goals. Like that's all it was. It was really just a momentary decision. And if I can get back to what was the climate, what was going on when I made that decision, are there some things in my environment that I can change in order to make heading in the right direction easier, right? Like we cleaned out our fridge recently, and we have put all of the food, especially the protein, right at the front. That's your first choice. Like, you can get a hot dog, you can get a hamburger patty or a meat cookie, as we call them, that's already, you know, cooked up, ground beef, that's in the front. If I want cheese, if I want vegetables, if I want anything else, I've got to move the right decision out of the way in order to reach for a secondary decision. My primary decision, I want it to be protein. So now I have to move my chicken out of the way in order to reach for, something else. And it just helps. That was an easy fix. And we got the refrigerator clean. So it's not a bad thing. Jackie says, I had to do simple reading a page a day. I used to love reading, but got away from it. And that's what we do to ourselves, right? We put this huge goal, like, okay, it's summer, we're gonna have a summer reading list. I used to do this all the time with the kids. We're gonna have a summer reading list. And what we're gonna do is I print out this really cute sheet that tracks all the books and the author and stuff so that we could turn it in the next school year. I don't know if y'all do that too. I always make sure it's AR reading books so they can take tests and get points toward it. So, but that seemed daunting. It was like the first day of summer and you've got like 50 blank lines and all you can think of is, I gotta read 50 books. I think if you come at it from, all you gotta do is read a page a day. Just read a page. That makes you a reader. A reader reads. That's all the definition of a reader is. A reader reads. How much do they read? I don't need to get into that. I'm a reader. So 1 page a day, that's it. That's the goal. I loved when James said, you know how he became a writer? He wrote every day. That's it. Doesn't matter if he wrote a paragraph or he wrote a chapter of a book. He wrote every day. That's what made him a writer. And then of course, when you're in there and you're like, okay, well, I said I'd only read a page, but maybe today I've got some extra time and I want to read 5 pages or I want to read an entire chapter. That's how you get it started. I love that. Angie says, I'm watching my daughter make better snack choices. I put all the keto snacks in front of the junk. That is so stinking awesome. And Angie, I hope that you see like the sounds of like rolling increase, like for yourself too. Like you hear the whatever is a very satisfying noise or sound for you. I hope you see that every single time you see your daughter make a good snack choice because you're part of that. You did that. A lot of times we're like, I want to be a better mother. I want to be a better parent. How do I accomplish that? You did it. Boom. And now every single time your daughter reaches for a right choice because you set her up for success, that's a win for you. That's a blue dot right there every single time. I love that. I love when I get a blue dot because somebody else is making a good eating choice, right? Because you set her up for success. Joanna says, I used to crochet a lot and haven't now in 24 years since my daughter was born. Now I have time, so I need to get back to it. Same here. I have all of those looms. And a lot of times I used to really pride myself in getting an entire hat done in a sitting. But then I had a couple of times where I couldn't finish an entire hat in a sitting. And then I felt like, oh, I'm terrible at this, or this is really frustrating and I'm not experiencing the win. So now my goal getting back to it as I reapproach it is, hey, I just want to make 1 loom around. That's literally just 1 row. That's it. That's a win if I do that. One row around. So, and that's super easy and super doable. Sarah says, way to go, Angie. I love how you guys encourage one another. Becca says, that would be a consequence for me, only being allowed to read 1 page. That's so awesome. So yeah, we all are good in some areas and struggle in other areas and vice versa, right? Like I definitely, I feel like struggle with nuts more than Joe. Like he's got a handle on nuts and I don't. And then, but by the same token, I feel like I can walk away from cheese a little easier than him. So yeah, we all have our strengths and all our weaknesses. Synergy says, I love the read a page idea. I love to read, but rarely take the time anymore. I miss it. Sometimes I enjoy I call it reading. It's a magazine. You know what? I want to read every single day. If I read a magazine and that is my reading, I'm a reader as far as I'm concerned, right? Instead of being like, I need to make sure that I read War and Peace today, or I can't say that I've read. That's a terrible like thing to put on myself, right? We got Cindy's, which was awesome. Susan said my habit has been to track my food to get a correct picture of my food intake. Let's see what else. Sarah says, I love the quiet time while journaling and get to hear birds sing while I walk. It's so refreshing. It really is. I feel like when I'm walking every day, so my Atomic Habits challenge for the month of June is I get up every morning and I put my sneakers and my socks on. The reason being that activity that only takes me less than 2 minutes to do helps ensure that I'm going to get my exercise in. And it is absolutely work. I'm throwing up a picture every single day on Instagram today. The picture was me and Tabitha. My sneakers are in the picture. They were on, but we had gone to the dog park this morning to get some exercise in. And I feel like I am enjoying summer. It's always been a goal of mine to get the most out of every season, whether it's like spring or fall. And at Florida, you have to look harder for the season, I think, than in other states, because it's like there's just a little bit. Like all of a sudden spring will come and a certain flower will bloom, and that's all that you get. That's the only indicator, because it's still hot and stuff like that. So same thing for summer, but I feel like when I go out and I get my exercise in, I'm able to check something else off my list. I enjoy the seasons because there's, different ducks out and birds, and I'm seeing different foliage, and it's really just lovely.
Did good.
Thank you. High five.
High five.
You want to give something away?
Let's pull the Keto Chow winner and then go eat dinner.
You want to eat some dinner? What's for dinner tonight?
I
don't know. I haven't decided yet.
I really haven't decided.
I know.
Let's take this off. Ready?
Yeah.
There we go.
Ooh, we're going to use Pick a Winner.
Does this work? No.
Can we see it? Yes, we can.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I got the URL there.
How many people want to get the May Chow Club box? Let's find out. Thanks, Vicky, for becoming a channel member.
Ready?
Yeah.
Fetch.
Anything goes. And the winner is... Oh, wait. We have to find out how many. How many people? Wow. 506. The winner is... Jennifer Brown. Congratulations.
Are you going to write that down?
Yeah. Let me find my pen. I had it right here. There it is. Jennifer Brown says that orange mango sounds so good. Right now, salted caramel is a favorite, but that keeps changing as I try new flavors. Well, Jennifer Brown, you're going to get to have some new Keto Chow flavors. Make sure that you send your mailing information to Joe at twocrazyketos.com.
Yep, and we will go respond to that comment. And if we don't hear from her by Friday, then we're going to pick another winner.
Now, you still have time to enter the June giveaway.
That was the June giveaway.
I'm sorry.
That's the June
box.
That's the June. Right. We did the May box on the vlog that came out the other day, and they have until next Tuesday, I think.
Okay, so what is they need to go over to the vlog.
Right.
In order to enter to win for that. I'm sorry.
The vlog from camping.
Yeah. I make a mistake. This happens.
I see a stream warning. So we are going to get off. We appreciate everybody for joining us. Now, don't forget, tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be doing our normal live stream.
No required reading.
Everybody have a good night.
We love you.
Bye.